crazy, isn't it? Sorry, look at his fingers. What is going on? Good afternoon and welcome back to the channel. And today we are doing episode 4 of Town Tours. If you're new to the channel and the series, in this series, what we like to do is go and explore towns and rank them out of these 5 categories. At the end of each episode, we score the town out of these 5 categories, giving them a score out of 5 for each one. Summarising with a total score out of 25 being a maximum, and see what the town score. As we mentioned, this is episode 4, so go and check out the other ones if you've not after this one. But today's episode is about Gympie. Just messing with you, I do know it's Gympie. I don't want to get in trouble. So now let's flash up all the people that did recommend us to visit Gympie and say thank you to all of you for recommending. If you have any more spots that you want us to visit, get it down in the comment section below to see it on a future episode of Town Tours. But enough about the next episode, let's speak about today's episode, which is, as I said, about Gympie. Gympie's population in the urban section is actually about 11,700, but including the outer regions, it's actually about 58,000, so a lot more people living in the area than I first thought. Gympie is famously known as the town that saved Queensland. In 1867, the gold rush pulled the colony out of bankruptcy. Gympie was originally called Nashville after James Nash, who discovered gold here in 1867. The current name Gympie comes from the Gubby Gubby people, and the name is in reference to a plant that leaves a very nasty sting. But hopefully, the town doesn't. So, a town that was known for the discovery of gold here, surely this should be the real Gold Coast. Let's go and explore and see what we think.
So first things first, we need to look for the best coffee shop. And we have found Hatch right here behind us that has the best reviews for coffee online. So let's go and give it a go and see what the coffee is like. So we thought it was just a little coffee shop window. Turns out there's a lovely seating area right here. Let's go and give the coffee a try.
Have a look at this.
That was a bit underwhelming.
Only I can struggle to open paper. Look at this. Oh my giddy aunt. This was the last glazed donut they had on the counter. So, the drinks that we got, iced latte, flat white, and glazed donut for $18.90. If you're going to get a little...
There's a fly on the phone and he's literally looking right at me. Get away.
They're attracted to strong smells.
Told you to have a shower this morning.
It was on your phone.
No, it's actually your phone.
Just like...
Oh.
But yeah, let's just try the coffee, see what we think. And yeah, the coffee looked good in there. It looked like a coffee spot. We saw a lot of people queuing as we were waiting, so I'm expecting good things.
Well, also, I don't know if you recognised it, but Sunshine Social Coffee is actually roasted down on the Sunshine Coast in Sunrise Beach, I think. So it's, yeah.
So it's a local roast. Oh my gosh. That's a good coffee. I say that every time, but sometimes it takes me a couple more sips, so I will get back to it, but that is a particularly good coffee. Got to be honest. Leave it with me, because I'm enjoying that. So I didn't get a full breakdown on price, but overall, reasonable price in that coffee after a couple more sips. That is possibly, trying to remember all the Town Tour coffees, I think that's probably up there as the best one I've had.
Really?
It's a very good coffee, but they're a specialist coffee like house, aren't they? So I do expect that. But Gympie, you have shocked me. After a couple more sips, loving that. And does the donut match up now? Oh my gosh, that feels so good. Oh my God.
Is it as good as it looks?
It's insane.
You're a bit of a donut connoisseur, aren't you?
Cody, I think that's the best donut I've had in Australia.
What? Honestly?
Honest, if I lived in Gympie, I think the weight would pile straight back onto my hips because that is absolutely divine. If you've not tried the donuts here and you are a fan, come and get a coffee and a donut because it's a match made in heaven. It's honestly good marks for that, good marks. Enough of what I think. It's time for the real star of the show.
Iced vanilla latte. I don't know about that one.
Do you know what I've realised? A lot of Aussies do like a vanilla iced latte, so you're in good standing. Tell me about it.
That's a good coffee.
Isn't it?
It's not too bitter.
Mm-hmm.
It's a strong coffee, but it's got the sweetness behind it, which is what I like. That is beautiful.
Isn't it good? Would you agree that it's the best one we've had on a Town Tours episode yet?
I think so. I think so.
There's something else you need to try, which is that tasty little donut.
Oh, wow, it's so soft.
Isn't it?
Oh, wow. Oh, my God.
Isn't it good? I feel like we're bigging this place up a lot, but Honestly, guys.
Where we got them from,
Yeah.
the box was nearly empty. It
Yep.
was cinnamon and glazed.
This was the last one of the glazed.
This was up there as one of the last ones, and I can see why. They are good donuts. I don't even really go for a donut, but I do when they taste like
Isn't
that.
it good? I'm in love with this place. Gympie's blowing my mind already. I did not expect to have an amazing day. I was going to say the coffee's fantastic. Food's good from what we've tried.
This is why town tours are good, because you get to really see what a place is like. Because places can get a bad name for itself.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think we've heard a few people speak about Gympie and they've kind of gone, not said too much. From the drive-through, we saw some cute spots, but we're going to keep on exploring, finish our coffees, and, well, I thought I would have enjoyed that with you, but there goes the donut.
There goes the donut.
Let's have a look.
Lose.
We'll have another sip of our coffees and then out to adventure a bit more.
Across the way from the coffee shop is Memorial Park. Now, it seems like an absolute no-brainer to come and check out this little spot.
Where else but Australia could you see a pine tree next to a palm tree? It's like an odd couple, isn't it? It's like a buddy cop film. Would you watch that film?
What?
Pine and Palm? That sounds like a buddy
Pine and
cop.
Palm.
Pine and Palm.
I think you've figured something out
Oh
there.
my gosh, should that be our buddy cop name? Pine and Palm.
Who's Palm? Who's Pine?
I think we all know who's Palm and who's Pine. This was built in 1919 to 1921, and it was built to commemorate the fallen soldiers from the war. So it's got a great little story behind it.
And I think if you come at the right time of year, it blooms with the jacaranda tree.
You never stop enjoying seeing these little characters, honestly. You could sit on one of these benches and watch them. The dynamic, look, they're having a scrap. Constant entertainment.
Oh, look.
Look at them. Honestly, the dynamics between all these lot. You could place money on which one you think's going to win a fight. Look, so we do some park betting and see if we can come away with any winning bets. I've got a tenner on this one here. I've got to say, that shot there looks like something out of a Bluey episode, doesn't it? With all the trees built up on the hill. Gympie's surprising me.
It's nice, isn't it? Let's get to the high street. I want to go and check it out.
So a bit of a fun fact about Gympie. Back in 1986, when James Nash did in fact find 72 ounces of gold, we did a little bit of converting to a modern day price, and the actual price of that gold would be an estimated 456,300 Aussie dollars, based in today's current gold market. That's a lot of money. One thing I've got to say I love about Gympie is it really does commemorate its history and its connection to the war and the people that have served in the war. It's got some fantastic little murals, and as we've just been in the park as well, we've seen that they commemorate in a very nice way. So yeah, what a cute little town or city. Now we're about to go and explore the main street of Gympie, and this is the historic Mary Street. Now the history of this street actually comes from 1867, when James Nash found gold in this here town, and lines of prospector tents line the streets of people in search for gold as well. And over years, it's developed into this street that you see today. So when it first started, it was just tents, and now it's a full town or city. Still not sure which one that is. And a fun fact about this street that we discovered is during the gold rush heyday, there were 72 pubs on this street alone. 72 on one street. That shows you the mass amount of people that actually came for gold and fortune. They were all wanting a drink as well. 72 pubs on one street. Let's see how many there are today.
Now, it's only 12 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon, but this street is so quiet today. Is that just the rural kind of...
The country town feel that it still has?
Yeah.
I want to mention the architecture here. I don't know why it stands out so much, but it seems to have held so much of its original look and style. Just look at this. It really does look absolutely incredible. Some of the buildings, just to take a moment.
What I love about any Australian town, no matter how rural, country, inland, coastal, there's always an RSL, isn't there? There's always some sort of either surf club, life-saving club, RSL. So funny.
Is that your hint that you want to drink?
Maybe.
One of the things it did say to come and have a look at were the historic building, and you can really understand it once you're exploring, but online, I didn't quite get it. I understand now I'm here. Now, we are noticing that there are a few shops closed, not just like closed because of the time, actually closed down, fully stopped operated. This one's had a closure order, so different kind of thing, but yeah, needs a bit of love, this town, I think.
We found this games arcade. Let's go and have a look, right at the end of the street.
Might not be able to film too much with the kids inside, but still go and check it out and say what we think. I've got to say, this shop is insane. It's half arcade, half collector's shop. I'm in my element. I might take a little bit longer than expected in here looking at some of the collectibles. See you in an hour.
Well, I didn't expect that. And it was really busy. Like, it's the
Really
main
busy.
thing to do potentially for kids, but what a great little spot.
Nice little stumble.
It's really nice. It's got all the overhanging trees all the way down. Like you said, if there were some like bougie cafes and a few more businesses here, it'd be kind of reminds me a little tiny bit of Perth.
I know what you mean.
I think it's just the different old buildings that they've still got.
Like, the layout of the high street is fantastic.
Yeah.
I think it probably just needs a bit more money pumped into it. But I'm guessing there's going to constantly be developments in a place like this.
Well, we've just come into this little space. It's actually a cafe. It's really, really cute. It's called the Brown Jug.
You've got like an almost a set kind of... They've got a set
Nice.
style.
Oh,
And
interesting.
exposed brick wall. Gorgeous stuff.
Well, we've just spoke to the lady that works in there and she said that's just Gympie. She said when she first moved here, she also thought on a Saturday being closed up, the high street being completely dead at lunchtime was also a little bit strange. She said the busiest time is during the week, Wednesday to Friday.
So that must mean that the town doesn't get a lot of tourism.
That's true.
And then during the week, it's the regulars, the locals who come in, and then the town comes alive. This is the first town that we've done that I think is quieter on the weekend.
It's not a tourist town.
But what it does remind me of is one of these Brisbane suburbs that people have told us about.
So just crossing the road, I don't think Joe's seen them. They've got the old petrol pumps right there.
Oh, yeah. Are
Not
they
the,
in
old,
use?
not the old ones. I don't know, like they're not quite as
Not
old
as
as some,
retro as
not
some
as
of them.
retro we've seen in the museums, but
Look at this, though. It really does have a Brisbane suburb feel to it. The houses on the hill.
yes, the hilliness. I do agree with you.
I don't know which Brisbane suburb I'm imagining, but when you're driving out towards like the Sunshine Coast, there is the one where all the hills are like Bluey. I just keep thinking of a Bluey episode.
Really interesting fact for you guys. Right behind me here is the town hall, and this is the spot where James first ever found gold. I think I know what I'm going to do for the afternoon.
Even just looking at the architecture of the homes behind you as well, there are some stunning builds. I've got to say, the architecture in Gympie really caught me off guard. Loving it. I think there's a lot of spots to see for any architecture lover. Well, as a town, it definitely has surprised me. I think the size of Gympie in the actual centre is way bigger than I expected it to be. And I do think it has got such a quaint charm to it, even though it is quite a big town.
I know what you mean. We just went in one of the shops, and one of the ladies that's had a shop here for quite a long time just said, it's a very old town. Everything closes at like 11 a.m. It's like getting earlier and earlier, isn't it?
It does.
Why does it bother opening on the weekend?
It's a very good point. I'm not too sure, but yeah, that's surprised us. We're now going to move on as we've got some other spots in mind to go and visit. So come with us. Let's see what else we can explore in Gympie.
Well, I think we'll support this little shop selling organic avocados. How sweet is that? Spray free. Cash, paying cash. Love
Paying
to
cash.
support the local towns. Oh, how sweet. We've just had to stop the car, driving down this road, look behind me, this very European Gothic looking church, but it says there's a cafe and restaurant in there. Now, there's no branding, so I don't know what it's called. Supposed to be specialty coffee. Now, we've already had a coffee, but let's go and check this place out.
When Cody says we've had a coffee, what she does mean to say is it was over an hour ago, so surely the coffee timer's running low. Wow. Look at this place. So is that the cafe there?
This is a restaurant.
Wow, so it's a restaurant which is a converted church. How cool. I have never seen anything quite like
It's
this.
such a cool building. Do you know what was interesting? When I did some research for this place yesterday, I didn't even see this.
We only just passed it on the street.
How strange.
It's definitely worth coming in and checking. Just admiring the architecture for a little bit more of a minute. Such a cool spot. So we're just looking at this place and we found out it's called Surface Hill. And as we can see, the first church here, which looks like a little wooden shack, was built in 1868. And then over time, obviously, they would have had the second church. I don't know whether that's due to flooding. I know the place does flood. Or maybe it's just renovations. But as we can see, the second one went up in 1869. So the first one lasted a year, not very long. And then this one has lasted a little bit longer, as this one went up in 1890 and is still stood here today.
The pipe organ was made by George Benson of Manchester, England. Look, the Manchester.
That is so funny.
Oh, how cool is that?
Love a bit of history.
It seems to be a common thing in Australia where there's always more to a place. It's like a little surprise.
Yeah.
as to what you find online. So like this must be online somewhere and we've missed it.
But it just didn't come up as anywhere,
But
did
it
it?
just didn't come up, and we did quite a bit of research, and yeah, there's actually a place across the road that we need to check out. I think it's called the Kingston House, and it's a restaurant that looks like a house. I don't know if it once was a house.
Weird.
We need to go and have a look, but it looks like the most kind of fine dining place in the town. All right, so we've drove a little bit further up the road and come to the Gold Mine Museum. Now, this is like the thing to do. One of the ladies in the town that had a shop said the museum is super informative. She said, I really enjoyed it. She said it was a long time ago when I did it. Now, it doesn't look open. Well, let's go and find out. Google Maps sent us to this car park right here, and you couldn't drive through because of the construction. But if we were to come in from this side, it's got its own car park. Let's head on in.
I've got to say, if you found one this size, I think you'd be expected to buy a pint for everybody in the 72 pubs that were down that main street.
Definitely.
I don't think you'd have any money left. Everybody would be expecting one.
So this is what we're saying, guys. These are all the pubs down the high street. How interesting is to see them all like that.
So the picture that we're flashing up on screen now is a picture of the main street that we walked down before. And I'll try and flash up a picture of what we're looking at and then a picture of us walking down that street. But how it's developed, it's funny because the landscape is still the same. I know that there is a river system nearby where you can go, is it called fossicking? I was researching this the other day for gold. Now I know that gold is the main reason that Gympie is known or on the map. So I wonder if we go and get a panning kit, come back to Gympie and try and do some panning for gold, see if we get anything.
How long do you reckon we'd be doing it for?
We'd probably find nothing, but we'd have a laugh. We might need to go with a professional. Does anybody know any professional gold panners? Is that the term? I don't know.
Oh look, there's 2 bikes there, perfect for me and Joe. We don't even have to walk.
I'd be on the little one. So I think we forgot to mention, but the entry fee to coming into this museum was $15. So it's a little bit on the steeper side from some of the museums that we have been to before. But I've got to say, from what I've seen so far, being able to come so close up to the machinery and see this kind of history encapsulated into a spot. But for the museum to be based around such an interesting thing, which is the gold and mining industry, it's a really cool spot to come to. So maybe it's worth its value. We'll keep exploring and see what we think at the end.
Is it worth its value in gold?
You're good at this.
I'm quick, Anna.
You can stay.
I know.
What's really good is the signs are just signposted for each kind of item that you might be wondering what it is. That one's a little bit too far back for my eyes, but maybe if you're a hawk, you can have a read of it. But a fantastic spot to open up the museum and have a look through. Really cool. Cody's not been up here, but come and have a look at this.
What is that?
So I believe this is an old station called the Monkland Station. I'm guessing it has now been like kind of taken off. It's no longer a spot you can come to. You can see all the paths that it would have gone. And look at these. So these would have been, I'm guessing, ways for him to kind of redirect trains back in the day to make sure that everybody was going on the correct line. That's a scary job.
I bet there was a lot of mistakes there, I reckon.
Would be if I was doing it.
Mm.
And we've got the full station here. Now, I'm guessing from the rail lines, they wouldn't have placed them down. So would this have been the old station that has been decommissioned? I'm guessing this would have been a real station, active at one point.
I wonder if anyone that's watching this would know. I'm guessing we've got a few people from Gympie.
Yeah,
Might
let
know
us
a little
know,
bit
guys.
more than us. So we're now in the dairy display, which is here to remember that Gympie once had the biggest butter factory in all of the Southern Hemisphere. How interesting.
Cody,
Mm.
got to say something on the workers' right.
Yeah.
This woman's made so much butter, she's lost a hand. Oh my gosh. So, I bet you didn't know, but follow me down this way. This is what they used to, in the olden days, drive the dinosaurs around in. So when they were moving the dinosaurs from town to town, they would move them with this vehicle. Crazy, isn't it? Sorry, look at his fingers. What is going on there?
What is going on?
Smithers. So we've just come across this piece of equipment, and I would have never in a million years guessed what it was. Have a little think, see what you think, maybe pause the video.
Do 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 do.
Nothing related to gold. It's a pumpkin slicer.
Finally, we've got him for his crimes for talking too much rubbish.
I've got flippy wrist. I'm out. Help. So, this is one of the main things we've come for. I want to say this museum is absolutely ginormous. Well worth the entry fee, I would say, if you're here for a while and can explore it. There's a lot more than just the gold. I thought it was just going to be a gold museum. It's all about the history, but I've had a read up and I've seen that these are like example tubs of how to do it. So what you would do is you would kind of scoop in, break up the sludge, and then swill it, and the heavy stuff would drop to the bottom. These are obviously example tubs, but gives you a taster of the real thing. I don't know whether they've actually put like, you know, like fake gold, is it fool's gold, through it, but I can't see anything that's like representing it, but maybe there's real stuff.
Maybe.
I can make a quick fortune. Hold up a minute. Hold up a minute. Is that gold? Is that gold? Oh. No, it's a stone. I thought I was on for a winner then. I don't know whether these have been ram raided by people, but I'm not even seeing anything remotely looking like gold. So imagine I just pull out the biggest nugget ever seen, just like bam, and I'm a millionaire.
That easy. From your $10 entry fee.
$15. I paid good money to be in here. Here, they actually have a golden pyrite specimen. That's pretty cool to see that. And are those the little speckles of gold through it? Surely not. No, this is a cool display to show you the whole history behind the gold and the mining of the town. This could be a real cool section. I'm going to actually put the camera down and have a good look into this for a bit. This is definitely worth a good look through. Off camera, we've had a really good look through there, and I've got to say, it's great because it divides the history up into sections as you move around clockwise. So it's a really cool little feature to have. Definitely come and check it out. The museum is absolutely ginormous. You can tell because my feet are going. I need a bit of food. I'm getting a bit tired, but definitely it's somewhere to come and check out. We hardly saw it all. We have now come to the outskirts of Gympie, and we have come to the Mount Pleasant Hotel, which is actually the oldest pub in Gympie. I believe it was built in 1870. And what's even better about this place is when we were researching the town to come to, flash up on screen some of the older images of the pub. So you can actually see what it used to look like. Not too different today, really. But let's go in and grab a schooner. We have to. It's kind of a given whilst we're here. Come on.
All right, so we're in the pub. It was $13.60 for a schooner of Great Northern and a Coca-Cola.
It's crazy to think that they would have had these TVs back in the day. Isn't it crazy? 1870? So advanced for its time. I mean, look at this window system. Can you imagine seeing this? Wow, all these cars in 1870 as well.
I know, they're pretty modern, aren't they?
Overall, I've got to say, I am pleasantly, no pun intended with the name of the pub, but I am pleasantly surprised by Gympie. I had no idea it would have been as good of a day out as it has been. It's been a really good time. I like Gympie.
The next and final spot that we're going to come to for the day is Lake Alford. This has been highly recommended and I can see why. There's an abundance of nature here. It's absolutely stunning and I can't wait to go for a loop around. It's a shame we've not got the doggies.
I've got to say, this is a perfect spot for dog walking and so cute to see all the birds that are around here. What a spot. As I just ended that clip, look at these little peepers. Hello, guys.
I have never seen this type of geese before. Does anybody know what it is? What's the name of these little guys?
So the geese that you've just mentioned, I've done a bit of a Google and they're called magpie geese. I don't think I've ever seen them myself as well, but it says that they're easily identifiable by their striking black and white plumage, long necks and orange legs and feet. Males have a distinctive knob on their head. I know a couple of fellas like that as well.
Honestly though, this is like one of the nicest parks I've ever walked through in Australia, I think. This is underrated.
So well maintained, really cute, a good track, lots of little pooches. It's making me regret not bringing ours, but what a great little spot to come to. We know where to come with him now, don't we?
Yeah, that'll be good.
As we walk around Alford Park, we have realised though that the sun is going and we just want to enjoy that sunset in this gorgeous park. So we've got to make sure that we wrap up the video. We have done so much today and what a fantastic spot.
Gympie is definitely underrated. There's not a lot to do here, but it's just naturally quite a beautiful spot, I think.
I do agree. I think for a day, if you don't mind seeing the architecture, going for a bit of a coffee, planning your day. So today, I don't know whether it was just a bit quiet, but maybe if you're just free of a midweek and you want to go out for a bit of an explore of a place, I would highly recommend Gympie.
But I think it's time to get into the ranking. So, as we always do, starting off with coffee in 3, 2, 1. 4 out of 5.
I think a 4's fair.
We were going to give it a 5, to be honest, because the coffee we had was particularly good. The only thing is, the options were a little bit limited compared to some of the other towns that we've been to.
Yeah, not at the specific coffee shop that we went to. I would give that a 5 out of 5. But if we're ranking the town as a whole, we always try and rank the options. So for good coffee, It wasn't the most available, but the coffee that we did have was fantastic. So a really good score. And if you are in Gympie, we would highly recommend going to the place where we went, which I'll flash up on screen for you now.
Number 2 on our category, as always, is food/a feed. Now, today is very different to most town tours. Reason being is, you probably noticed that we didn't actually eat anything today. We actually had breakfast at home this morning, which set us out for the day.
I must say though, that donut that we had was fantastic. A really good donut.
Really good donut. But ranking it on the options, 3, 2, 1, 3. I wouldn't give it any more than a 3. I think the options were quite limited, especially once it's past like lunchtime. Everything kind of closed down, but that is just here on a Saturday. I'm guessing that's not the case during the week. And the next one on our category is things to do, and we're going to give it a 1, 2, 3, 3 out of 5. Which, to be honest, is just an average score. There isn't a lot to do here in Gympie, however, there is some things to do.
But if we're ranking Gympie on a whole, if you're going through the high street, looking at the architecture, little coffee shops, Alford Park, which we're in right now, as well as the Gold and History Museum, but there was also a woodwork museum that was closed today. For anybody who does come, it's actually closed on the weekends, but open during the week. It's not the most plentiful of options in the town, and it is actually quite spread out as a town as well, which makes it difficult to kind of hit all the spots in one day, but definitely enough to do for a good day out. So I think a 3 is a good score.
The next one on the category is value for money, and we're going to score it a 2.
This might seem a bit harsh, but for a town that isn't necessarily a tourist town, the prices weren't necessarily that cheap. Especially when you're looking at places that would attract tourism in, which are the museums. We've been to some museums which are a little bit on the cheaper side, so we think a 2 would be a fair score. For the museum that we visited, that would have been $15 for entry, which in my opinion is a good price, but still a little bit on the steep side. It's a little bit of a brutal score, but there isn't too much to do.
And the last category on the list is hidden gem, and that's getting a score out of 5 of 3. We think that's pretty fair. Of course, the whole gold mining industry that surrounds this whole place is pretty interesting, and the museum was pretty amazing, to be honest. There was so much to that museum. That's kind of the hidden gem in and of itself. But if you could still go and find gold, I think there's tours you can do.
Yeah.
We didn't do anything like that today, but have a look online and see what you can find. That is pretty interesting.
The only reason that I wouldn't say it is necessarily a hidden gem is because the town is quite a large town, so it isn't necessarily something off the beaten track, something that people don't know about. People most likely know or have heard about Gympie, so not necessarily a hidden gem.
So for the best part of the day, I'm sure you've been waiting for this one, as these scores and towns are building up now. We're a couple of episodes in. We are giving Gympie a score of 15 out of 25. Now, I think that's pretty fair for this place. It's really not a bad place, and to be honest, better than we expected, that's for absolute certain.
I do feel bad that it is probably the bottom of the leaderboard, but we will probably visit a lot more places that will get much lower scores. So if you are from Gympie, please do not fear and think we're criticising the town. We've had a fantastic time here. There will be, in future times, a lot more places that we visit, and as we mentioned, get those places that you want us to visit in the comment section down below.
However, it's time to now wrap up this video. We hope you have enjoyed this episode. We certainly have enjoyed our day here today in Gympie. If you have liked this video, be sure to like the video and make sure that you are subscribed. All it means is that you get notified when we upload a brand new video.
With this being the wrap up of the video, thank you very much for watching, guys. I want to say a big thank you to all the members for your constant support, and to anybody who has bought any merch off our merch store in the description down below. Thank you to everybody.
We will see you in the next one. Bye.
Adios.